We open on an eerily dark night. Light shines from the ethereal full moon, awaiting to witness a feat of scientific mystery, one of nature's extraordinary phenomenons. And I'm not talking about werewolves. No. I'm talking about the event of mass coral spawning, where at the same time, millions of vibrant specks float around the ocean in hopes of creating life. Coral reefs are colorful and important ecosystems for our oceans, home to so many different marine animals. But they themselves are animals too, meaning they have to do normal animal things like eat and mate. However, corals can't move. They stay in the same place for their whole lives. That means they can't just casually bump into their mate at a coffee shop on the coral reef. So, how do these animals actually reproduce? Let's start by talking about what coral is. Coral is an animal in the family of Cnidaria, along with jellyfish and sea anemones. They are made up of countless smaller creatures named polyps. One main job for these polyps is to produce the sperm and egg cells, or gametes, used for sexual reproduction. Now, because corals are basically anchored down their whole lives, they go for a less hands-on breeding strategy, known as broadcast spawning. Broadcast spawning is when an animal releases both male and female sex cells into the water column. If the stars align, these cells will find each other and create a baby coral larvae called a planula. With corals specifically, they often do this in mass synchronized events. But how do they know how to time it so perfectly? What triggers them to do this? Well, the truth is, we don't actually know. Scientists are still trying to find the right answer because there are a lot of different environmental factors to consider. For example, some evidence points to it being caused by the lunar cycle. One study done by Chae-Hung Lin showed that mass spawning can be triggered by something termed the dark period. What's that? Well, on the night following a full moon, moonrise comes after sunset, which means there's a short time frame where neither of these light sources are in the sky. The results of this study showed that during this time is when the corals actually started spawning. So they're not really like werewolves at all. Now the question is why? Why release all of your gametes all at once? The reason for this phenomenon is to increase the chances of creating offspring amongst a coral reef, which can be separated by large distances. It also increases genetic diversity amongst coral, which makes them more resilient to ongoing threats like climate change and coral bleaching. Through studying and understanding the uncertainty of this event, it could help science predict and protect these important animals in a changing planet.